First of two scheduled meetings between these two this season. Bottom of the first is where we'll start. Avery Pottmeyer gets on with a shallow hit into center for a single. Hit it where they ain't. Two runners on. Henry Huffman grounds out to short, but it'll be enough to score the first run of the game. Waterford strikes first. Two outs now. Corbin Stark grounds one that's bobbled at short, and that'll allow the second runner to score as Waterford takes the 2-0 lead early. Cole Mullenix hits one deep to left field, but David Farrell makes the nice sliding grab to end the inning. He's got it. Making plays with the glove and the bat. Farrell drives one off the left field fence, and he'll slide into second with a double. But Braun Doak leaves the runner stranded, getting the strikeout looking to end the top of the second. Nails right there. Runner on second. Hayden Jones, how about this? Sends a blast over the left field fence for the 2-run jack as the Wildcats go on to win in a walk-off 8-7.